Hello, class and Professor Riley. This is my session 4, session 5. Apologize. This is my persuasive speech that I am presenting. My topic is taste and see that the Lord is good. Two words that I want to explain quickly so that I remain within the time frame. Taste is goes far beyond what we normally think of as tasting. Tasting in this perspective is from a spiritual perspective. And we taste spiritually all the time, even though we might not recognize it. When someone asks you, what are you doing for lunch? And you explain to them, Big Mac might be nice. And your mind envisions that. And then you make a decision, maybe whether you want that or whether you like a big K sandwich. You know, so we taste with our spirit man. And then we move from there to tasting by trusting, learning to trust God. And then from there, that takes time. We establish that relationship where we learn to trust God's word. As we grow, then we grow to the point to where we are willing to submit to God's will, to do what it is that He will have us to do. We have to learn to put our will and desires aside and say, Thy will, Lord, be done. Allow God to have His way because He knows best. As I present this, my goal is to persuade others to seek God and taste God from this spiritual perspective. I will begin by getting just a little bit deeper into tasting with our mind. How do we taste God with our spirit man? Well, we begin doing that by getting into God's word, reading His word, meditating. God instructed Joshua to meditate on His word day and night. That was his instruction. That's how Joshua grew in relationship to God and tasting God to understand more about Him. Then from there, Joshua and Moses and others had to grow to learn to trust God. Moses learned that probably it took him a little more for Moses to learn that than some of the other prophets. But Moses didn't give up. When God said that He wanted to use Moses, Moses said, I'm slow of speech, man. You want me? And Moses kind of exchanged in communication with God and persuaded God to allow him to let his brother accompany him, Aaron. And so God allowed Aaron to accompany him, but God worked through Moses and the speech impediment, eventually he was healed of that. So we thank God that he allows us to grow, to trust him. The children of Israel made a lot of mistakes, but they had to grow to trust God. Kids grow to trust other people. They have to learn that. Trust their teachers. Trust some of the police officers. Trust the ministers and other people, sometimes family members that they're surrounded by. But trust takes time. And the closer and the more confident that we get with the people we're surrounded by, it's a little easier and to put a little more confidence in what they say. And so we grow. And then finally we grow to where we are willing to be persuaded to do God's will, and we can abandon our will. We let God know our desires. We let him know what we would like for him to do for us. But then we model ourselves after Jesus. Jesus said, not my will, but thy will be done. Have your way, Lord. So when we look at things from that perspective, when we put it in God's hand, we don't have to worry about it. Because we know that God cannot fail. He's everywhere present. There's nothing hidden from him. He's almighty, and there's nothing that he can't do. So in conclusion, I hope I have been able to persuade some people. Most of us probably already have tasted God. And some of us, it may inspire to taste a little more of God. We never reach the point to where all of what we can possibly taste of God has been done. So as we grow, we can taste a little bit more. And as we taste a little bit more, we put ourselves in a position to be used more by God. We learn how to be used by him. We learn why we should be used by him. And we learn how it's possible to be used by him. And that if we choose not to taste and see just how good God is, then if we don't seek God by reading his word and doing those things that will draw us closer, then we will not taste and see just how good God is. Have a blessed day. Thank you. Be blessed.